I don't know how I've been winning bets because it's a hard league week to week to figure out. Here we go.
Herd hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
I think Cleveland's weird. I said this last week, and Joe Flacco took over, and they're 3-1. I think it's a great story. I don't think it's a great team. But Flacco's an adult. He throws the ball down the field, and the bottom line is opposing quarterbacks this year have a passer rating of 71.6 against Cleveland. So they muddy it up and ugly it up. It's a fun story with Flacco. I don't think they're going to do anything in the postseason with Flacco, so I'm going to keep him where I had him last week at 10.
Number 9.
Listen, Kansas City they got a problem. They're bad at wide receiver. And by the way, they lead the AFC in offensive penalties. They look disorganized, and that's with Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce. They're just not good there, and they're not good at tackle. Mahomes, I don't want to hear he's not seeing the field. He sees the field fine. He's not comfortable. They're trying to duct tape some of their issues. They're averaging only 21 points a game. So, again, I think they're going to win out. I think they're going to end up 11-6 and be fine with a shot to get in the AFC Championship. But they remind me of that Cincinnati team that, by the way, got to the Super Bowl that had a horrible offensive line, and they got some narrow wins down the stretch and in the playoffs. I think Kansas City can do that. But right now, that wide receiving group is a mess, and the O-line isn't great. 9 for Kansas City.
Number 8.
If you'd have told me before the season I had the Rams over Kansas City, oh, wait, I told you the Rams reminded me of an older Kansas City. I said that in preseason. Stafford's an absolute heater. The O-line is healthy. Kyron Williams only trails Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey in yards per game. Running the football, not turning it over. Great coach. Stafford, they got Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee. They're really playing well at tackle. They're doing a lot of things Kansas City isn't, right? Like good at tackle, quarterbacks on a heater, not many drops, rookies delivering. They're a real team, Rams at 8.
Number 7.
These are not standings. I still have Miami about 7. Oh, great. They finally beat a winning team at home. Well, they're good at home. You get that funky Miami weather and it's raining. I will say this. Without Tyron Smith at left tackle for Dallas, Bradley Chubb looked like LT. He wouldn't if they met again. Dallas would beat him on a neutral field. They'd beat him in Dallas. And I think it's still a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 23 years that I don't trust. I do love their coach and some offensive pieces, but I've got them at 7.
Number 6.
And I still think Dallas is better. These are not standings. Dallas didn't have their Hall of Fame left tackle, and I said that going into the game. If he doesn't play, it's not the same offense. Bottom line is, Dallas has 3 wins against winning teams. There was some funky officiating in this game. I don't even know what to say about that Micah Parsons penalty. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Micah Parsons is 6'2", 230, running full speed, can't make a full stop in half a second, and you penalize him. But I don't want to blame officials. Mike McCarthy promised us a more physical run team. That's not what we have. Dallas at 6.
Number 5.
I like Philadelphia. Once again, their offensive line in the fourth quarter, 3 drives, dominated. The team's going to be fine. Last year, they finished 14-3 against a bunch of yucky quarterbacks. This year, they're going to finish 13-4 against much better quarterbacks. I like them. They're not perfect. I think they're trying to figure out their way offensively, but I like their receivers, their O-line, capable running backs. Jalen Hurts is a leader, offensive coach. They're not good in the back end, and you can beat them on the back end, and everybody's beating them on the back end. But they're going to finish 13-4. I like Philadelphia at 5.
Number 4.
They won't be here next week, but I got to give Detroit credit. Here's an amazing stat. Detroit has 4 different players with 8+ touchdowns. They nailed the draft. Jahmyr Gibbs, Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, dominating offensive line. Again, I think they lose to Dallas this upcoming week, but Jared Goff, when he doesn't turn it over, they are 7-0. I love this about them. They can play with a lead without O-line. They can play from behind. I like teams that can play multiple ways. The Lions can play trailing. They can win when they play poorly. They can win playing great. Do I worry about them on the road? Yeah, I don't think I'd take them against Philadelphia in January, but I'd take them at Tampa. I'd take them at home. I'd take them against Dallas. I'd take them at SoFi, although they wouldn't have to play there. They'd play the Rams at home. I like the Lions at 4. I don't say it with a great deal of confidence knowing their history, but I have them at 4.
Number 3.
The Bills. People are not paying attention. Josh Allen is the least sacked quarterback in the league. This is their best O-line. James Cook, first Bills player with 1,000 rushing yards in 5 years. For years, I've been saying they're too Josh Allen reliant. Finally, they're not, so I have to be true with them. Their O-line's playing well. Their run game's legitimate. This is the Bills team that is not completely beholden to Superman making 9 plays a game. He needs to make about 2. I like this version of Buffalo a lot. We've seen in recent years teams catch fire. The Tampa Bay team did. The Rams team did. Teams catch fire. Week 12, 13, 14, they get the O-line right. They finally get the run game right. I think the Bills are the team this year.
Number 2.
San Francisco. Listen, Brock Purdy's not good enough to overcome turnovers. I still think it's the best roster in the sport. It's just that their hole, unlike like the Chiefs' receiver hole or maybe the Eagles' secondary hole, their hole is the quarterback when he's trailing. When Brock Purdy trails in the second half, he's got a passer rating in the mid-60s. That's just who he is. I still think the roster's unbelievable.
Number 1.
Baltimore. I've been high on them all year. I had them won for about an hour. They lost a game. I think the physicality, Lamar Jackson. You know what cracks me up about Lamar Jackson? All this Tua MVP, Dak MVP, Purdy MVP. Do you think those guys would face the Niners in Santa Clara and easily be the best player and athlete on the field? Lamar's unbelievable. Physicality. They don't have their star tight end. They have a rookie receiver who had the drops. They're on their third-string running back. I think their culture, their coach, their defense, their quarterback, their toughness, Baltimore number 1. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.